a card-carrying, violent white supremacist, and a myriad of other ridiculous accusations.
This is the plaintiff, Joseph Cumia. He says the defendant booked his U2 cover band for an event he was having, and the guy tried to cancel the gig 2 weeks before the performance date. The defendant thinks he has the right to cancel penalty-free, but he's here to show him he can't. He thinks the judge will totally agree and is suing for $2,300, the amount he's due. This is the defendant, Terrence Nelson. He says a patron at the bar he was going to have the U2 cover band perform at told him the plaintiff was a humongous racist and sent him screenshots of despicable things the guy posted on Twitter. His bar's a chill spot. He won't endorse or finance a bigot, and he believes he has it out with the contract he signed, so he owes nothing. He's accused of still not finding what he's looking for.
All parties, please use your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with the case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Millian in our forum, the People's Court.
You see to come to order, please.
You give me the rest of the stuff.
Litigants have been sworn in.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
All right. Mr. Cumia, you are suing Mr. Nelson for $2,300 for the balance of a contract to book, is it your band?
It is my band.
Okay,
yes.
A U2 cover band. What's the name of your cover band?
Tribute band by the name of 2U.
2U. And what do you mean by, what's a tribute band?
A tribute band is a cover band that presents themselves as the original act.
Oh, so they gear up and
dress up.
stuff.
It's half acting,
Who
half
does
musicianship.
Bono?
A gentleman by the name of Jello, a friend of mine.
I was going to say, you're not going to cut it. All right.
No.
Okay, so tell me what happened.
Well, in essence, I received a phone call from Mr. Nelson, an email, requesting that we play at his establishment, Trenton Social.
What's the name of your establishment?
Trenton Social.
Okay.
And after a little bit of back and forth with him via email, we decided that we could do it. And he was very thankful. I thanked him. We had not too many words back and forth as far as, discussing.
Do you have a written contract?
Logistics. I do, yes.
May I see it?
Sure.
So what happened?
Well, that contract was in force for approximately 2 months. And when first I heard about there being a problem was Mr. Nelson had sent me an email, and he told me that the contract wasn't correct. So he had gotten in touch with me via telephone, and when we spoke, he came clean about it, and he said that he believes that I have some political and social beliefs that would not be acceptable in his venue, and that he feels as though
political and social beliefs.
Social beliefs, yes,
okay.
that go against what he says. In fact, he had mentioned being informed of tweets and Facebook posts that portray me as not only a racist, but a misogynist, a homophobe, a pedophile, a card-carrying, violent white supremacist, and a myriad of other ridiculous accusations. I have the source. I did a bit of investigating, and I came up with the source of those accusations, and it's an ongoing problem that I've had pertaining to online bullying and terrorist tactics to do nothing more than defame me, make my brand unemployed.
Yeah, but were the comments from you that he was concerned about, or were the comments from someone else that he was concerned about?
They came from someone. They come from somewhere else. They're pure fabrication.
Okay, what happened?
I was sent messages from people that were not only guests of my venue, but also friends and whatever. I was unaware of his affiliation with his brother, who's a radio personality, so he was somewhat...
Who's the brother?
Anthony Cumia from the Opie and Anthony show.
Wow, who made the racist comments? The testimony continues.
I don't want him at your club if he said that. I don't want him at your club if there's somebody who says he said that.
The plaintiff has a U2 tribute band, and the defendant canceled the gig 2 weeks before. The defendant says he found out the plaintiff was a racist, but the plaintiff says he never said the statements, and somebody's setting him up. Let's listen.
Anthony was dismissed from the show in 2014.
And he was dismissed from the show for what reasons?
There was an issue with management on Sirius XM satellite radio. He was in. If you'd like, I can go through the story.
No, I just kind of like. Let's try it this way.
He was dismissed
for
angrily tweeting, involving a confrontation that he had with a woman in
Management
Manhattan.
said more than that. I remember this. Management said that it was racist and misogynistic and blah blah blah. All the things you said except for pedophile. You know, racist,
right.
Misogynistic.
Yes.
Okay, that gentleman is your brother.
That is correct. He's my younger brother.
Now you get messages from who are these people?
Some are guests of my place. Some are friends. Some are acquaintances.
All right.
Some are people.
And they tell you what? That he's.
They don't tell me anything. They send me links to screen grabs of things that Joe Cumia has said.
Okay, but that he has said, not that his brother has said.
I wouldn't judge a man by something his brother said. I would judge a man by something that he said.
So they sent you. What are the screenshots they sent you?
I have them
by
here.
the way, when are you getting this in relation to the date? The date is going to be on St. Patrick's Day.
It had already passed. It was just several weeks ago.
No, I meant when do you get contacted by a bunch of people telling you?
It was at the beginning of March, like the 1st and 2nd.
So it was within the 2-week cancellation period.
Prior to the 2 week.
Prior to the 2-week cancellation
the
period.
2-week window.
So when you get these, you decide I don't want him in my club.
I decide I don't want him in my club. Let me look at this contract more closely and see if there's anything.
Right, but why didn't you just cancel the way the contract says? Because the contract says that you have to. Did you cancel the way the contract says, which is notice must be in writing received through the U.S. Postal Service?
I thought I owed the man a conversation as opposed to just sending something in the mail. I thought our rapport.
Well, no, you should do both. But anyway, go ahead.
I thought our rapport over the phone was good. I liked them when we first spoke, and musically, I think that their band is great. But
tell me what comments were brought to your attention? Comments of his or comments of his brother? You say no, certainly not comments
of Joe Cumia.
So show me the comments that were brought to your attention. Were they in writing?
They're screen grabs.
May I interject for one moment?
Can you object? Yes. You can
interject. I'd like to interject for one moment.
Not usually, but I'll go ahead.
I have a thought fresh in my head.
Oh, well, that's what we have pens for, but go ahead.
Screen grabs are, first of all, easily manipulated. Second of all, taken out of context often. And I can answer for each and every one of those. And I can tell you which ones have been taken out of context and which ones are genuine screen grabs and are not.
Attention all Caucasians. If I die while being arrested because I acted like an animal, white people, please don't riot and loot on my account. What was this in reference to? Do you know the context of this? Not that there's a good one. I'm just trying to understand what it was.
I don't know the context of it.
Do you know?
No, I never wrote that.
Damn, that boy was the size of a shaved silverback ape. And if you squint a little, and this is purportedly, this is a picture of you, and this is coming from your what?
Twitter.
Twitter.
No, it's coming from a hosting site called Imager. Imager is a hosting site wherein anyone can post pretty much anything.
How do you know it's coming from Imager?
I can show you who did it. I can show you the person, the very person that went to Terrence and told him in no uncertain terms, I'm going to get Joe Cumia canceled, and Joe Cumia and his band canceled on St. Patrick's Day. Proudly. This and these are live links right now. I can actually show you and I have highlighted.
Right now, he's one of the many people, according to him, who reached out to him. But now, tell me this: how can you show me that person put it on Imager? You can't do that. What makes you, other than the fact that he was proud to have reported it?
There's an online community of people. I didn't want to bring up Reddit. I really didn't want to bring them up because they've done nothing but give me a problem. It started about a year ago.
You know what? Don't even.
I'm sorry.
I don't want you to have
I don't want to get long-winded.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So now I'm reading these comments, and you're reading these comments, and they're abysmal. So what do you decide you're going to do?
As you know, if you know anything about my brother's old show, they used to gang up on other radio shows. They did some pretty abysmal things. I mean, they did things that were entertaining while on the air. That's what got them their ratings. That's what got made Anthony as famous and Opie as famous as they were. But these people are still around. They still hang around. They're basically on.
Cents, which is what your 50-year friendship has been reduced to.
This week on the People's Court.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So I'm just going to ask you, if you were the judge and you have to make a snap decision, somebody made racist comments that a band you hired outside the club, and then 2 weeks later they're about to perform. Can you say to them, contract's over, I don't want you in?
I would say yes. You could say the contract's over.
Because it's that bad?
Yes.
You agree?
I agree.
Even though there's nothing in the contract that says anything about it?
I agree. I'd do the same thing.
Okay, but can you do it and not get sued for the performance fee that the person had?
I would hope that they wouldn't let them play, but...
What do you think? It's America. You're allowed to do you're allowed to say horrible things. Think about it. Think about it. Going inside the courtroom.
You decide you don't want him at your club.
I can't have him as a welcome guest.
I don't blame you. But now here's the thing. There's a contract that says how this is supposed to go down, and you don't follow what's in the contract. I don't want him at your club. If he said that, I don't want him at your club if there's somebody who says he said that. The whole thing's too controversial, right? But then it's so simple. Why don't you just do what it is that it says there? Now, without a doubt, you were informed by him before the 2 weeks. You were actually informed by him on the phone. You don't deny that. You were informed by him, we're canceling you, correct?
That's correct.
And I contacted him in writing the day before, just so that it was before that 2 week window. By email.
He also told me that he was going to show up and have a conversation with me face to face so he could get to know me and we could sit down and talk like human beings, and he can make his determination then whether or not I seem like a racist, misogynist, pedophile, Nazi, white supremacist, card-carrying, violent guy. That's really what it comes down to. Instead, he took the word.
Why would this guy have something against you to make up that you said these things so similar to the things your brother said?
It's not just one guy. If you'd be kind enough to take a look, it's an online community of people that used to be known as pests, Opie and Anthony pests. As you know, if you know anything about my brother's old show, they used to gang up on other radio shows. They did some pretty abysmal things. I mean, they did things that were entertaining while on the air. That's what got them their ratings. That's what got made Anthony as famous and Opie as famous as they were. But these people are still around. They still hang around. They're basically online terrorists. They want to have anything to do with affecting my life and my brother's life. My brother.
Why would they have anything against you just because you're your brother's brother? I mean,
yes, that's why. That's why.
That's a little bit far-fetched. It's a little bit far-fetched. But now, so you end up sending an email when?
Yeah, on March 2nd, the day that I called him.
Within the.
Prior to. Yeah, the day before.
2 week period. I am going to assume, for the purposes of our discussion, that he said every single last thing, and then I'm going to analyze it legally. So the question that I have and that I have to analyze here is it sufficient when a contract specifically calls for cancellation through the U.S. mail to turn around and cancel in a different way? Okay? You know, all you have to do is have postmarked something, and I would always send it certified return receipt requested or just something so that you have a picture of the postmark and everything's kosher. But you don't, and you send him the email, and the question that I have to answer is that sufficient? Does your email do it, or does the law require the way the contract says? And I looked at this research before coming up here, because I got to tell you, I think, if you're concerned that he's making these horribly racist comments, you should cancel him. But that's not the question that I have. Were you right in doing it? Being a racist is not a reason for cancellation of a contract. Racists can enter if you did say it, racists can enter contracts. They can.
Sure.
And they're still legally binding. So, and that's one of the beautiful things about this place. That's what makes us different than other nations, is that you have the privilege of being as racist as you want, and you're not going to go to jail for it. You have the freedom of speech of being a complete jerk if you want to be. And then I have the freedom to never have anything to do with you. So you have to do the things according to the way the contract says. I think that if you're getting grief as a club owner from people about something like this, you absolutely did the right thing. I just wish you'd done it the right way. You understand what I'm saying? I hope you're not lying under oath today. You know what? I just hope that you're not lying under oath today, because then I could feel better about what I'm about to do. Because if you are lying under oath and I'm still doing this, I still know that it's the right thing. It's still the thing I have to do, but it'll leave a sour taste in my mouth. My verdict is for the plaintiff and the amount of the remainder of the contract, $2,300.
Well, the judge's hands were tied by the law, so she finds for the plaintiff. He gets the $2,300 back. You know, what's a shame? The cost of a postage stamp could have saved you $2,300.
I haven't bought stamps since online banking started, so,
I know, but I mean, that's the case you face here. Simply, a postage stamp could have done it.
Yeah.
Right. I think you've learned a valuable lesson.
Sure.
Sorry about that, but that's the law, sir. Okay?
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nelson. That's the door. Here comes Mr. Cumia.
Hello. How are you, Mr.
Well,
Nelson?
I guess you must feel pretty good right now, then.
I do and I don't. I have to say that I was a little bit, I'm happy that Mr. Nelson has to pay me, but I'm a little bit unhappy that Judge Millian didn't allow me to delve a little more deeply into the accusations of racism, misogyny, pedophilia, and everything else that goes.
That really wasn't the issue facing her.
I know it wasn't, but
she didn't have to.
The thing is, I understand that.
It's terrible what you're going through. I understand.
Doing everything I can to combat it, and there's very little recourse. America, be very careful. Okay. Very careful.
All righty. Well, look, good luck. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Harvey, very interesting lesson here. What do you think?
Well, I mean, this is a tough one, Doug. The only way, really, the defendant could cancel is if the plaintiff actually made the comments and in some way it was inciting some kind of violence. Now we'll do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.